A very important day has passed with the FOMC meeting now setting the tone for the next few months to come for basically all markets, cryptocurrency certainly included within that equation. And we'll also be discussing a very tangible signal for Bitcoin that, if met, would signal the next big move. Now, with that in mind, welcome back to EllioTrades channel. I'm your host, Krown, again today with some TA and FA being Fed analysis, because that's what we have to do nowadays. And there are several things to be talking about. So yesterday, the expectation going into this FOMC meeting for the Fed, the expectation was a faster taper and a couple of rate hikes in 2022. The expectation, however, was not met, and the Fed essentially was a little bit more lenient, like ever so slightly more lenient, but you can see the results in the market over the past 24 hours. So we're definitely going to be talking about that directly with Dixie, and then also going into Bitcoin as well, and then we'll do some quick fire altcoin analyses, of which I want to say, again, a major thank you for all the feedback on the quick fire analyses. Is that even the right word? I don't know. More importantly, hey, I'm not a linguist. I am a chartist, if that's a thing. But more importantly, if you are interested in seeing certain tickers, definitely let me know in the comment section below. It's been very helpful to kind of fish out the more interesting charts and just what's more relevant towards this community. On top of that, I want to let you know that if you are interested in a daily Bitcoin analysis, a little bit faster paced, a little bit more in depth, then I do have, or I do exactly that on my own channel, which you can find in the link description below, plus a little bit of fun altcoin analyses here and there. By the way, big shout out to the man in the past video speaking in Finnish. Nice one, man. I don't know much Finnish, even though I've been living here for 4 years, but moi. There we go. I know how to say hi and bye-bye. And thank you, actually, too. Kiitos. All right, sweet. So let's talk about Dixie here first. First things first, I want to get one thing out of the way, because it seems like there's a misunderstanding, especially in the crypto universe, with what Dixie represents. Dixie quite literally just represents the dollar's value relative to a basket of other fiat currencies. It is not the absolute value of the dollar. I just need to be very clear about that. Anyways, if Dixie does go down, and if it is in a long-term downtrend, as we did go over in a prior video from, I think it was like a week or two ago, we were going over this whole setup right here. Typically speaking, we do see, bull markets for Bitcoin. Not always. It's not super exact, and this really only works on the macro scale. So it is, in my opinion, very unwise to be looking at this on a very low-term time frame. But as far as the macro trends go, they do correlate rather well. Anyways, you can view that video at any moment in time that you want. But more importantly for right now, we are at a major precipice for this chart where, if we are going to be bearish on it, or at least expecting a pullback, this is the exact zone that we'd be looking for. So we called this out, actually, it must have been like 3 weeks ago, because it's right here. It was right here. Yeah, on that test to $97 on this supply zone. And basically, as I remove this for the time being, if you are looking for lower highs, if you are looking for reversals, this is the exact area you'd be expecting it to come from. However, the criteria to confirm a reversal is the same thing as before. Same areas. I've not changed this chart since we last spoke about it, and it is $95.50. Below there on a weekly closure, nothing less than that, a weekly closure only, I would call this a local high, also a lower high, and a reversal, and, well, very likely coming back down towards the 93.5 to 94.25 region, which very likely does bode well for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies by extension. The last time we saw a major downside move in this asset was, of course, starting in March 2020 and ending in May 2021. And we don't need to go to Bitcoin's chart to know exactly what that looks like. That's your move from, well, we can just do it very briefly here. That's your move, in case you happen to care, all the way from here at $5,000 to over here at $62,000. Not bad. So that is actually rather important, because we will get a weekly closure tomorrow. And if you do see that condition met, I'd feel very comfortable and confident being a lot more immediately bullish on cryptocurrency for a long-term time frame trend. There is also one other major signal that I want to be looking at on Bitcoin specifically, that if hit today or tomorrow would very likely indicate the beginnings of that, of that rally. But for right now, keep an eye on this area right here, 95.5. Below there, especially on a weekly closing basis, that will be very indicative that we are going to see a major downside move on this one. On top of that, let's go over here to Bitcoin. So we spoke about this maybe a couple days ago, but I want to briefly go over it once again, and it is my daily stochastic momentum chart for Bitcoin on CME exchange specifically, just to be 100% clear about that. This is not on spot exchange. This is on CME. Oh, nice. Just got hit on a trade over here. Beautiful. Hey, not bad. All right, I'll take it. Anyways, let's get back onto this one over here. Now, all of these blue vertical bars represent the same area on this indicator. And it is this. It is when the daily stochastic momentum comes down to this green horizontal area. All of these correlate to the exact same area. And you can see that it's only happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in Bitcoin's history. And what do all these areas have in common? At minimum, they have a pretty amazing bounce, actually, even within the context of heavy weekly downtrends, which Bitcoin's not in right now, as long as it's above $40,000, of course. So I want to pick out two signatures very specifically here because they represent very similar action to what we have going on right now. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to put your eyes on this little, let me actually just get my brush out, do some painting. There we go. This little, let's just call it like a fractal on this indicator right there, where you come down into the green horizontal, you bounce off it, rejection right at the critical zone, come back down, base again, reject, and then, well, we're gonna have a chance to once again hold it. Keep that in mind. Let's go back to the last iteration where something like this similarly happened. Now this one would not fill the bill. It's just one test down there and then up, and well, pretty nice one to be fair. Yeah, if we go over here, we certainly do have one. Where's this? March 2020. So you already know where I'm going with this one, but you get your first base right here, bounce, boom, rejection, back down, base, and boom, big move up. 5,000 all the way, I mean, basically it's 5,000 all the way up to where we're at now. I would say up to about 40,000 bucks is where you really start to get like a major consolidation. But I also want to pay attention to the consolidation that was going on throughout this time. So not only did we have that same signal, but we had an ascending triangle right here. Okay, interesting. What about this signal right here? Similar? No, but well, pretty good result, even though it did eventually fail. The last time that we saw an example very similar to the one that we have right now was actually back on over here in December 2018. That was when Bitcoin was putting in the macro cycle low at 3,100. 3,100, I can't believe that, man. It wasn't even that long ago, I guess, but anyways. So you get this first base right here, bounce up, reject, second base, more anemic bounce, reject, come back down, and well, the rest is history. This took about 3 months on this macro cycle low, but as you'll also notice, we had what? An ascending triangle right here. So you can see an ascending triangle right there, ascending triangle right there, same very, very similar signature right here, mostly same signature right here. The other ones are all just one-offs, but I mean, still, you know, pretty good. I mean, those are pretty impressive bounces regardless. So let's go back on over here. Do we have the same sort of setup? Yes, we do. How would we confirm a cross to the upside on this momentum oscillator by end of day today on CME closing basis? Well, we can actually backwards engineer that by my good friend, Mr. KVDB, working out the maths on this one. And essentially, if Bitcoin closes today on CME, which has a slight premium over spot price action above 47,300, then we will see that inevitably happen. Now, of course, we do want to see follow through on top of that. So it's not like, obviously we want this to happen, but it's not the full picture. It's the next piece of the puzzle to lead into the greater picture. But of course, one step at a time. You know, we're not trying to be like full on moon boys here. Well, it is kind of fun sometimes too, I guess. But not only that, Bitcoin is also within the context of one massive ascending triangle as well here. So I do see pattern formations. I do see stochastic fractals and very similar basing patterns right there. Now there's several other things as well, of which I put them out on my channel, but I don't want to bore you with like a 40-minute long video on that. That's probably the most important things happening today. And by the way, CME closures happening in 8 hours, 40 minutes, and 11 seconds. And right now it is more than $1,000 above that level. So that is good. That is good. Of course, I should also denote, hey, if you want to play this one by the book, you're still looking around about $54,000 above there. Great. You know, very likely see a move up towards, you know, somewhere around 59 to 60,000 bucks, let's say. And if you want to be super conservative, or, you know, if you're like a big asset hedge fund manager, you're probably waiting for 59,000 bucks, but fair enough. To each their own, of course. Okay, so let's get on with it now. I spent a little bit too long on Bitcoin. Apologies on that. Let's go to Ethereum over here and let's do some quick fire. And tomorrow we'll probably do a little bit more of a deep dive on Ethereum. Ethereum gets the bounce off of our levels from the past few days. I think we called this out 3 days ago or 2 days ago on this channel. Next major area, good above 4150 on a daily closing basis, and I would be looking for this one to very likely put in a powerful rally, actually. And when I say powerful rally, I mean, hey, can you actually stand there? There we go. Very likely back up towards 44 to 4,500 over time. Not same day, but over time. Until then, need to see that area cleared. Obviously bad below 3,700, but that's not really too proximally close to where we're at on price action. Polygon, Matic, one of the best charts of the majors. And what do you know? We bounced off our 180 level. Again, I'm not going to say exactly as predicted, because there's no such thing as that. It's just a game of probability and statistics. Obviously, it's fun to say, you know, I called this, I predicted this, whatever. At the end of the day, real trading is just statistics. That's all. And the statistics were on the side of this one putting in a higher low right here. Now, would I say that this one's ready to trend towards new all-time highs just yet? No. I need to see a closure above 220 specifically on a daily. Above there, I do look for returns back around your rally highs at 250 to 260, and then longer term, you know, few weeks following that, probably do see $3 plus. That obviously does imply problems below 180 with targets back down to 150-ish region. Moving on to symbol DOT, good above 31.5, very bad below 25, but for right now, just kind of right in the middle of the range. Below 25, I do look on a daily closing basis. I do look for returns back down to 21.5 to 22 region, and above 31.5, I do look for this one to give a nice rally back up towards 35 minimum, maybe as much as 38, and then come back to it after that. Okay, moving on to Avalanche, actually, another one that had a great response yesterday. I believe we did a video on it, maybe not yesterday, but the day prior. We said above 96.5 good, and very likely initiates moves up towards 110 or so. We've almost got there right now, 108.39 high thus far of the day. It's a long day left to go, of course. Ultimately, though, I do like this one, especially as it now is above that breakout point at 96.5. Still, though, you know, probably gonna trade some sideways into here with short-term moves up somewhere around about 110 to 115 or so. Long term, I don't get too excited about it for new all-time high parties until it's closing back above about 127, basically 128, let's call it. And obviously below 96.5, I do look for another retest of your lows. However, this one, you know, of some of the more strong ones, let's say, as it does essentially just trade sideways here, but that's fine. Again, above 96.5, good. Okay, let's move on to Luna. Luna, another one, a very strong one actually. This one similar to Matic, maybe even a little bit stronger than Matic as it's already at all-time highs. I would be looking for this one to retest around your 75 to 78, $79 highs with any sort of a closure today above 66.5. Until then, sideways here is good for the Bulaws. Bad below 52. Not that I think that's happening right now, but sideways is fine. Again, just want to see a closure above this region. That would initiate the next sort of set of targets, if you will. Moving on to Solana, symbol Sol. So we did test the top side of our short-term supply zone right here. That's fine. I just want to see a closure above 195, and then I would extend targets towards about 210 to 215 region. Long-term, still not super exciting as long as we're below about 230. That's where I start to talk about new all-time highs, or at least a retest for all-time highs, and then probably $300 over time, you know, weeks following that condition. Until then, need to see this area taken out, and bad below 150, which is not that helpful because we're so far away from it right now. I think that's going to do it for today. I want to keep these videos nice and digestible. Again, let me know if the pacing is, you know, well, good or understandable, anything like that. I'm more than happy to hear. And yes, I do read the comments, and I do massively appreciate all the support on this channel. It's been amazing, really. Really do appreciate it. Even for the people who are like, man, I don't like your channel, but on this channel it's good. Hey man, all good indeed. So I should probably also let you know about Bybit. Of course, if you're an experienced trader and you actually have success with trading, take advantage of the Bybit deposit bonus there. They basically just give you free money and shave some off your like trading fees and stuff like that, which is obviously a net win. But if you're not already a successful trader and you're just kind of getting started out, I would not suggest it. It's best to really start with a paper trading account. and get some repetitions in that way, get some experience in that way. And from there, as you get some, markers of success, then perhaps, consider putting some small amounts of money in and, work your way up from there. But again, it's really only wise to do once you actually have a winning strategy, a winning formula, and then you obviously can, do as you please. So I'm going to leave it right there. I want to wish you the best. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.